Imagine stepping into your garden year after year and food just keeps coming back. No replanting, no fuss, no running to the store for new seeds every spring. Just life. Green, generous, and dependable. Sounds like a dream, right? Well, here's the thing. It's not. There are crops that actually do that. You plant them once, and they feed you for years. Some even get better the longer you leave them alone. And today, I'm walking you through 20 of them. Herbs, vegetables, berries, even nuts and fruits that'll turn your garden into a self-sustaining buffet. And I'll be honest with you, number 17 completely caught me off guard. I didn't even know it could survive through winter until I saw it bounce back stronger than before. So stick around because by the end of this video, you'll have a list of forever foods that'll save you time, money, and maybe a few backaches along the way. Hey gardeners, welcome back to Serene Green Gardens. This is the place where we make gardening easy, affordable, and honestly, just a lot more fun. You don't need fancy tools, you don't need a big budget, and you definitely don't need to stress over perfection. Around here, it's all about growing what you love, learning as you go, and enjoying the process. If you're someone who likes simple, rewarding gardening ideas that actually work, you're in the right place. So, before we dive in too deep, do me a quick favor. Hit that subscribe button. You'd be surprised how much good stuff you've probably been missing. And trust me, the next few videos coming up, you're going to want to be here for those. Let's start with the ones that just don't quit. Herbs. These are the backbone of every low-maintenance garden. They grow fast, smell amazing, and honestly, they make you look like you've got your life together even when you don't. Let's start with one of the easiest and most loyal plants you can ever grow. Chives. Honestly, this little herb is a quiet overachiever. You plant it once, and it'll come back every single spring like clockwork. No reminders needed. Chives are part of the onion family, so they've got that gentle, mild onion flavor that works perfectly in just about everything. Scrambled eggs, soups, baked potatoes, salads, you name it. And the best part? They're ridiculously low maintenance. Once established, they can handle cold winters, dry spells, and even a bit of neglect. They grow in neat little clumps, and if you just snip off what you need, they'll keep producing fresh shoots all season. Plus, when they bloom, those purple flowers aren't just pretty, they're edible too. You can toss them into salads or use them to dress up a plate, and they'll make you look like a chef without even trying. So yeah, chives are one of those plants that quietly do their job year after year, asking for almost nothing in return. If you're new to perennials or just want a foolproof start, this is the one to plant first. It'll make you feel like a pro gardener right out of the gate. Next up is mint. And if you've ever grown it before, you probably already know what I'm about to say. You plant mint once, and it basically claims the zip code. This plant doesn't just grow, it spreads. It's like that one guest who shows up for dinner and then just kind of never leaves. But honestly, that's what makes it so useful. Mint thrives almost anywhere. You can grow it in full sun, partial shade, in the ground, or in a pot on your windowsill. It doesn't care. It's fast, fragrant, and forgiving. You can forget to water it for a bit and it'll still bounce back like nothing happened. And the best part? You'll never run out of ways to use it. Fresh mint leaves in your tea, smoothies, lemonade, desserts, even tossed into your salads. It instantly brightens up everything. Now, because mint spreads so aggressively, a little tip from experience, give it boundaries. Plant it in a container or a raised bed if you don't want it taking over your whole garden. But don't let that scare you off. It's one of the most satisfying plants to grow. Every time you brush past it, that fresh, cool scent hits you, and it's honestly worth it for that alone. If you're new to gardening or you just want something that gives instant results, mint is your go-to. It's the kind of plant that makes you look like you've got everything figured out even when you don't. Now let's talk about oregano, the hardy little herb that refuses to quit. Oregano is one of those plants that laughs in the face of bad weather. It survives frost like a champ, and once it's rooted, it practically takes care of itself. This one's a Mediterranean native, so it's used to dry soil, rocky ground, and blazing sun. Which means if you live somewhere that gets a bit harsh, cold winters, dry summers, oregano's got your back. It'll just keep coming back every year, stronger and bushier. Flavor-wise, it's bold but comforting. That classic pizza and pasta aroma everyone recognizes. But it's not just for Italian dishes. You can use it in roasted vegetables, grilled meats, soups. It gives everything a warm, earthy kick that makes your kitchen smell amazing. And here's what I love most about it. The older the plant gets, the richer the flavor becomes. It's like it matures with personality. So if you plant oregano today, you're basically setting yourself up for better, deeper flavor with every passing year. It's low effort, high reward, and a total must-have in any perennial garden. You plant it once, let it do its thing, and every season it's right there waiting for you. Kind of like an old friend who never misses a visit. All right, let's talk about lemon balm. Honestly, one of my absolute favorites. If there's a plant that can brighten your mood just by existing, this is it. Lemon balm has this light, citrusy scent that fills the air the moment you brush past it. It's soothing, refreshing, and for some reason it just makes the garden feel peaceful. Now here's the best part. It's a pollinator magnet. Bees absolutely love lemon balm. You'll see them hovering around the flowers all summer, which means your other plants benefit too. More bees, more pollination, more growth all around. It's like having a little helper in the garden. Lemon balm is also ridiculously resilient. Once it finds a spot it likes, it's not going anywhere. It comes back every year, spreading a little more each time, quietly but confidently. I like to joke that it never dies quietly, because even when you think it's gone, give it a few weeks of sunshine and it's right back. Like, surprise, I wasn't done yet. You can use the leaves fresh or dried. They're amazing in teas, desserts, even tucked into a jar of sugar to give it that soft lemon scent. And because it's part of the mint family, it's got that same easygoing attitude. Plant it once, water it when you remember, and it'll keep rewarding you. So yeah, if you're someone who wants the joy of a lush garden without constantly replanting and starting from scratch, herbs like lemon balm, chives, mint, and oregano are the real MVPs. These are for folks who love the reward of gardening, the scent, the flavor, the feeling, but don't want to redo the whole thing every single year. You plant them once, and they just keep giving back, season after season. That's the beauty of perennials. They do the heavy lifting, while you just enjoy the harvest. Quick break before we move on. Did you know 93% of you watching right now aren't subscribed? That's wild. Hit that red button so you don't miss out next week's guide on winter crops that actually thrive in the cold. Now let's move on to what I like to call the power veggies. The ones that act like they've got a lifetime membership in your soil. You plant them once, give them a good start, and they'll just keep rewarding you season after season. These are the crops that make you feel like nature's on your side. Let's start with asparagus. Now, asparagus isn't the plant for the impatient gardener, I'll be honest about that. When you first plant it, it takes about 2 to 3 years before you get your first real harvest. But once it gets going, it pays rent for decades. Literally decades. I've seen asparagus beds that were planted by someone's grandparents and are still producing. It's that reliable. It loves well-drained soil, lots of sunshine, and a little patience. Once it's established, it just keeps pushing out those tender green spears every spring like clockwork. You'll wake up one morning, look outside, and there they are, fresh asparagus shoots, ready to harvest. And they taste completely different from the ones you buy in the store. Sweeter, crisper, and more alive somehow. Here's the thing, with asparagus, your effort pays you back for years. You feed it once, mulch it a bit, and it keeps feeding you for 20, even 30 years if you treat it well. It's one of those plants that teaches you patience, but rewards you with consistency. Now let's talk about rhubarb. Rhubarb is a character. It's tart, tough, and looks like it belongs in Jurassic Park with those giant red stalks and oversized leaves. It's the kind of plant that demands attention, and once you've got it, it's practically indestructible. Rhubarb loves cooler climates, but it can adapt pretty well. Once it takes root, it comes back bigger and stronger every single year. You cut it back in the fall, think it's done, and then boom, spring comes and those thick red stalks push through the soil like they own the place. It's one of those perennials that gives your garden structure and character. You can use the stalks for pies, jams, or even sauces. But remember, the leaves are toxic, so those stay out of the kitchen. And honestly, rhubarb is just impressive. It's a survivor. It handles frost, shrugs off neglect, and keeps on thriving.
So between asparagus, which rewards patience with longevity, and rhubarb, which brings that bold personality and toughness, you've already got the foundation of a garden that keeps on giving. These are the plants that make gardening feel effortless. They remind you that when you plant wisely, nature takes care of the rest. Next up, we've got the Jerusalem artichoke, also known as sunchoke. And this one's a wild card in the best way possible. It's not actually an artichoke, and it's definitely not from Jerusalem, but it is one of the most underrated perennials you can grow. This plant spreads fast, tastes sweet, and honestly, it's one of those crops that just does its own thing. You plant it once, and before you know it, you've got a patch of tall green stalks that can grow 6, 7, sometimes 8 feet high. Beneath the soil, it's quietly producing these knobby tubers that look a bit like ginger, but taste like a sweet, nutty potato. They're amazing, roasted, sautéed, or even sliced raw into salads. And here's the kicker. When you harvest them, as long as you miss a few tubers in the ground, they'll grow right back next year, which means you almost can't get rid of them, even if you try. It's low maintenance, high yield, and genuinely delicious. If you want a crop that feeds you year after year without needing constant replanting, this is it. Just be ready. Once it's happy, it's not going anywhere.
Now, walking onions are one of nature's coolest little tricks. They literally plant themselves. No joke! Here's how it works. Instead of producing seeds, they grow tiny bulbs called top sets at the end of their stalks. When those bulbs get heavy enough, they fall over and take root in the soil nearby. So it's like your onion patch slowly walks across your garden over time. You plant them once, and they just keep multiplying, quietly marching from one corner to another, feeding you as they go. Every part of the plant is useful. You can use the green stalks like chives or scallions, the bulbs for cooking, and even the top sets for replanting. They're incredibly hardy, too. Cold weather doesn't bother them, pests mostly ignore them, and they'll bounce back every single year. It's the definition of self-sufficient. Honestly, walking onions are the kind of crop that makes you look clever without doing much work. You plant them once, sit back, and let them handle the rest. And this next one, 9-star perennial broccoli, feels like something out of a gardener's legend. It's rare, hardy, and tastes like success. You don't see it in most stores because it's not a commercial crop. It's one of those old-fashioned varieties that's been quietly passed around by serious gardeners who know its worth. Here's the deal. Unlike regular broccoli that gives you one big head and then calls it quits, 9-star perennial broccoli keeps producing smaller florets year after year. Each spring, it comes back with fresh growth, and if you harvest carefully, taking the side shoots instead of cutting the whole plant, it'll keep rewarding you for seasons. It's tender, flavorful, and surprisingly resilient. A light frost doesn't scare it, and it actually prefers cooler weather. Once you taste homegrown perennial broccoli, you'll realize how different it is from store-bought. It's sweeter, more delicate, and doesn't get that bitter aftertaste. This is the kind of crop that makes you proud to be a gardener. It's proof that patience and good soil can outshine anything in a grocery aisle. If you've tried any of these, Jerusalem artichokes, walking onions, or that legendary 9-star perennial broccoli, drop a comment and tell me which one surprised you the most. I'd love to know what's thriving in your garden. And if you haven't tried them yet, tell me which one's now on your must-plant list after hearing this. Okay, let's talk berries, because what's a garden without a sweet bite while you work? There's something about walking through your garden, brushing your hands over a few leaves, and popping a sun-warmed berry right into your mouth that just feels perfect. These next few perennials give you exactly that, and once you plant them, they'll keep doing it for years. Let's start with raspberries. Raspberries are those cheerful overachievers that spread on their own if you let them. You plant one cane, and before long, you've got a whole thicket. It's like they're saying, don't worry, we've got the rest of the row covered. They send out underground shoots called suckers that pop up near bud, slowly expanding your patch every season. The best part? They're low maintenance once they're established. Give them sun, decent soil, and a little space to breathe, and they'll reward you with juicy, tangy fruit summer after summer. You can prune them back every year to keep things tidy, but even if you forget, they'll still come back swinging.
And the flavor? It's just unbeatable. Fresh raspberries straight from your garden are nothing like the ones from the store. They're softer, sweeter, more alive somehow. You taste them and realize why people go through the effort of growing their own. So if you want something that multiplies itself and gives you handfuls of fruit every year, raspberries are your best friend. Now let's talk about blackberries. Blackberries are a little different. They've got attitude. They're thorny, wild, and sometimes a bit of a handful, but they are absolutely worth every scratch. Once they find their footing, they grow with confidence, thick, arching canes that seem unstoppable. They can handle poor soil, heat, drought. They just keep going. The key is giving them a sturdy trellis or some space to sprawl because they like to stretch out. And when harvest time comes around, those deep purple blackberries are pure magic. Sweet, rich, a little tart, perfect for pies, jams, or just eating right off the stem while you work. And here's the thing about blackberries. They're survivors. Even if you prune them hard or neglect them for a season, they bounce right back. Once established, you'll have more fruit than you can eat, which is a good problem to have, let's be honest. So between raspberries and blackberries, you've got two crops that basically take care of themselves and keep giving year after year. One's friendly and eager to spread, the other's tough and proud, but both will fill your garden, your kitchen, and your summer mornings with something sweet to look forward to. Next on the list, strawberries, but not just any strawberries. I'm talking about ever-bearing strawberries, the gift that just keeps giving. These little plants are pure generosity in leaf form. Instead of giving you one big harvest and calling it a season, they keep producing small flushes of fruit from spring all the way through fall. You'll pick a handful, think they're done, and a week later, there's more. They don't ask for much. A sunny spot, a bit of mulch to keep the roots cool, and a little water now and then. That's it. And the payoff is huge. Sweet, juicy berries you can grab as you walk through the garden or toss straight into your morning yogurt without ever stepping foot in a store.
If you want that instant burst of sweetness every time you step outside, these are the plants to grow. Honestly, they're like nature's candy that keeps refilling the jar. And then there's the goji berry, one of the toughest, most hard-working little plants you can grow. They don't look like much when you first plant them, but give them a bit of time and they'll turn into these hardy little health bombs that can handle almost anything. Goji berries are famous for being loaded with antioxidants, vitamins, and that subtle, tangy sweetness that feels like a cross between a cherry and a cranberry. They grow on shrubs that can reach up to 6 feet tall, and once they settle in, they'll produce bright orange-red berries year after year. They thrive in poor soil, laugh at drought, and can handle both heat and frost, which means they're as low maintenance as it gets. You can eat the berries fresh, dry them for snacks, or toss them into smoothies. And the best part? The more you harvest, the more they grow. It's like they enjoy being appreciated. They're one of those crops that quietly make your garden feel a little more exotic, like you've got something special that most people overlook. And when those berries start turning color, bright against the green leaves, they look like tiny gems scattered through your backyard. So if you're into low-effort snacking while you weed, this is your section. These are the plants that reward you just for showing up. No stress, no complicated pruning schedule, no drama. Just sweet, steady, healthy harvests that make gardening feel easy and endlessly rewarding. Let me know in the comments, are you more of a strawberry person or are you curious to try goji berries? I'd love to hear what you'd pick for your own forever garden. These next few might surprise you because most gardeners don't even realize they're perennials. These are the quiet overachievers of the plant world. The ones that just keep showing up year after year while you're busy worrying about everything else. Let's start with horseradish. Now this one, practically immortal. Once it's in your garden, it's there for life, and probably your grandkids too. It grows from thick, deep roots that spread slowly underground. And unless you dig up every single piece, which is almost impossible, it'll keep coming back stronger each season. And honestly, that's not a bad thing. Fresh horseradish has this bold, fiery flavor that bottled stuff can't touch. Grate it, mix it with vinegar, and you've got your own homemade kick that'll clear your sinuses in the best way possible. It's a tough plant too. Frost, drought, neglect, none of that bothers it. It's the stubborn old friend of the garden that just refuses to quit. Then there's sorrel, a bright green leafy plant that tastes like someone splashed it with lemon juice. It's tangy, fresh, and it adds this sharp little twist to salads, soups, or even omelets. And here's the part that makes gardeners love it. It comes back. Every spring, those tender leaves reappear like clockwork, ready to harvest before most of your annuals have even woken up. Sorrel thrives in partial sun, loves a bit of moisture, and asks almost nothing in return. It's one of those plants that quietly earns its keep, year after year. Now, let's talk about sea kale. It's not a plant you see in every garden, but once you get to know it, you'll wonder why more people don't grow it. It's edible, ornamental, and coastal tough, which means it can handle salty air, wind, and poor soil without complaining. The leaves are thick, bluish-green, and kind of beautiful on their own, but they're also edible. You can cook them like regular kale, and the young shoots taste a bit like asparagus. It's a striking plant that feeds you and looks great doing it. Honestly, if you're into low-maintenance beauty, sea kale's your pick. And then we have one of my absolute favorites, the Egyptian walking onion. This plant is a bit of a show-off. It doesn't grow like regular onions. Instead, it grows these little bulbs on top of its stalks. When those bulbs get heavy, they bend over, touch the ground, and plant themselves. It literally walks across your garden, slowly moving and multiplying every season. It's the plant version of a teenager moving out but still using your Netflix password. It's independent but never really gone. You get fresh green stalks, flavorful bulbs, and a never-ending supply of new plants. Once you grow it, you'll never need to buy onions again. So yeah, these four, horseradish, sorrel, sea kale, and Egyptian walking onion, might not be your typical garden stars, but they're the ones that stick around, pull their weight, and keep surprising you long after you've stopped paying attention. They're the proof that some of the best plants aren't the flashy ones. They're the quiet, reliable ones that just keep showing up. If you're getting ideas for your own forever garden, pause and hit like. It tells YouTube this is the kind of smart gardening content you want to see more of. Now we're thinking long-term, the kind of plants that might actually outlive you, in the best way possible. These are the ones that keep giving for decades, quietly building a legacy in your backyard. Let's start with hazelnuts. These are compact, productive, and surprisingly low maintenance. You don't need a massive orchard or special equipment. A couple of bushes are enough to keep you stocked with nuts year after year. Once they mature, they'll produce beautiful catkins in spring and clusters of nuts in the fall. The flavor's rich, buttery, and perfect for roasting or baking. And here's the bonus. They also attract pollinators and wildlife, adding balance to your garden ecosystem. Hazelnuts are one of those crops that take care of themselves once established. Just a little pruning every few years, and they'll reward you for decades.
Then there's the fig tree, a true symbol of patience and abundance. Figs love warmth and sunlight, and they'll test your patience in the early years, but once they start producing, it's like a floodgate opens. You'll get soft, sweet fruit that tastes like pure summer. No grocery store fig can even come close. Figs thrive in containers too, which means even if you've got limited space, you can still grow them. They just need time, and once they settle, they'll come back stronger every season. And finally, blueberries, the quiet champions of the perennial world. Once you get their soil right, they're practically unstoppable. They love acidic, well-drained soil and a sunny spot. After that, they'll keep you stocked with berries for decades. They're perfect for eating fresh, baking, freezing, and honestly, they're beautiful plants too. Their leaves turn this gorgeous red in the fall, so they double as an ornamental shrub. It's rare to find a plant that looks good and feeds you, but blueberries manage to do both. These are what I call legacy plants. You plant them for yourself, but also for whoever inherits your soil. They'll keep growing long after you've moved on, a living reminder that good things, the best things, take time, patience, and a little care. So tell me, if you could only pick one perennial to plant this year, what would it be? I'm genuinely curious. Drop it in the comments and let's see which ones are winning people over. And while you're at it, tell me about that one crop in your garden that just refuses to die, even when you secretly wish it would.
We all have that one, right? The plant that keeps coming back no matter what? I want to hear your stories. And hey, if you haven't hit subscribe yet, now's the time. We've got easy, affordable garden guides coming every single week. Things that make gardening feel simple and doable even if you're just starting out. You won't want to miss the next one. It's all about plants that actually grow faster in cold weather. Trust me, you'll love it. Thanks for spending a little time in the garden with me today. And remember, the best gardens aren't built in a season. They're grown, slowly, one perennial at a time. Thanks for spending time with me today. Remember, gardening doesn't have to be expensive or complicated. It just needs consistency and a little bit of love.